Today we're going to take a look at something that really should improve your game on both sides of the ball. It's very important. And we're going to start by looking at Big Dime 146 because that is the last defensive formation I showed on this YouTube channel. And yes, we're going to talk about crossfire. So whether it's Big Dime 146, whether it's 3-4 odd, 3-3-5 odd, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. It's the same every time. Now, we're going to show you two parts. One, we're going to show you what it is, and then two, we're going to show you how to solve the problem and always be a step ahead of your opponent. This is something that I've used for quite a few years now, but with Madden Ultimate Team really taking over and the fact that you could not set audibles in that mode until now, there wasn't really any reason for me to show anyone, but now I can. So, let's come out in the play cross 3 fire, and we're going to base align just like we would anytime we're setting up a crossfire defense. Take a look at the right screen middle linebacker. As soon as I break the huddle and base align. And as you can see, the right screen middle linebacker moved 1 yard ahead of the left screen middle linebacker. And he's the guy that's blitzing. So even in defenses where this guy is already in a zone or whatever, one of the blitzers here, he's always going to be a step ahead. So let's take a look at it again, in case you missed it, and take a look at what happens with the right screen middle linebacker for any crossfire. Okay, this goes for any crossfire in the game. We base align, and as you can see, he moves a yard ahead. Now this tells our opponent that we are in a crossfire, that we are in a cover 3 shell. We're leaving ourselves susceptible to our opponent quick snapping us, because as soon as he sees that, let's say he calls a play, he's like, you know what, I know he's going to run crossfire, and I know that crossfire is a cover 3 shell. So if I come out in a play that I can quick snap that shell with, and he's not going to be able to set up that defense, he's just going to be able to beat you all game long. So now, let's come out in the play cover 4 and see what happens. So now we base align, and as you can see, the linebackers are even. So now, let's say we're running a lot of crossfire, and then we get out of it. Well, now our opponent knows that we're not even in a crossfire. So he doesn't have to really worry about blocking the running back, probably, right? So it's really an offensive advantage to know about this linebacker tell. It's just a huge thing. Now, if you're in a crossfire defense, obviously you can make changes to the shell and you don't always have to be blitzing that linebacker. That's obvious. Let's take a look at that right now. So we'll come out in a cross 3 fire, okay? We're going to base align, and now, you know, I mean, I can make changes to the defense. I can go to a cover 2 shell. It's hard to tell, but we have both outside guys in cloud flats, and now the safeties are in, you know, they're open flats. We'll call them by their right names, which is deep halves. And, you know, and now we've got this looping guy right here. So we've changed the shell of the defense, and we still have the looping pressure. 4-man looping pressure, which is what I love about the Big Dime 146. As I mentioned, it's the most consistent of all of them. So we've changed our shell entirely. And we can do the same thing if we are, you know, if we want to run like a cover 4 type deal. You know, whatever it is that we want to do, we can change all of the defensive back assignments with the corners on the outside and the safeties. But that's a lot of work, don't you think? So now, let's take a look at the new solution, which is again something that I've been doing for quite a long time to really take advantage of a lot of different things. But because of the tell with cross 3 fire this year, it really makes it that much more valuable. So, by default in, say, the Big Dime 146, the cover 2 sync is the audible. I changed it to Tampa 2 because that's the one that I prefer. So we're going to come out and cross 3 fire, and we're going to base align. Okay, so we've base aligned. The linebacker's up, right? Now we audible to Tampa 2. Now we've just saved ourselves like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 button presses, even though I did them wrong. 16 button presses in order to get the cover 2 shell. So let's go back and take a look at this again one more time. I actually only need to be snapping the ball. I don't need to keep coming out like this, but that's okay. So watch. Base align, cover 2. Simple. We're there. And we've got this linebacker as if he's in his blitz angle. But we've actually got the other side blitzing. So we base align, we audible. Okay, and now if I wanted to just put this guy in a deep blue, now I've got what everyone loves to do, out of the cover 2, and we're only rushing 3 defenders. So that is a huge, huge, huge thing that you can do, especially against people that are quick snapping you. Like I said, you're going to play people, especially as the year goes on and people understand this. I mean, obviously now there's a video out talking about it. I haven't seen any other video of people talking about it. People obviously know about it, but I haven't seen a video about it yet. So if they see that and they know that you're not really adjusting, or that you're making your own like 16 button press adjustments, then they can just quick snap your cover 3 shell as soon as they see this. As soon as they see that. Now if they get to the line and they see him move back, well, now they know that you've audibled. But not by setting audibles, by using the base align and then audible. So let's take a look again here one more time. And I'm just going to show you that if we go base align, we can audible to any of the plays. As soon as we base align, we can now audible to man. We can audible to DB sting. We can audible to cover 3 sky. And nothing changes. The shell, or should I say, the shell is changing. We're running all different types of coverages, but there's like the slightest little movements between guys that nobody really knows, because those little movements that those players make really are kind of like, you know how the players like are kind of moving anyway, even when you're not controlling them. That's the movement. See, like right there, the safety just moved down. I mean, that's the only movement that you're going to see. It's random. So that's how we're going to get away from our opponent being able to quick snap us. Now, as I mentioned before, anytime you're running the crossfire, yes, you want to be changing up your shells. If you want to send that looping blitzer every down, no problem with that at all. Like, literally no problem. I mean, especially out of the big down 146. You can send 4, you get out there, you base align, then you can change all of your stuff. You can certainly do that. And if you're quick on the sticks, like, you know, I'm pretty quick when it comes to setting up adjustments. If you're not, though, and you're really getting beat by this, this is something that you're really going to want to use. This has so many different benefits for you. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that it's also, you know, in 3-4 odd. Like, it's the same thing. So now we base align, right? And again, even though the linebackers are a little, you know, they appear a little closer together, you just know that this guy is ahead, the right screen middle linebacker. And it's like that for any of the defenses. So now we can go to cover 2, Tampa 2, and nothing changes. It looks like this guy is going to be blitzing, and he's not. And not only that, it's one adjustment to change, you know, you base align just like you always would, and then you're pressing 2 buttons. One, you know, like the audible button, sorry, and then the play. And that's it. So now that we've accomplished that in 10 minutes, if you want to turn off the video and you feel like you've, learned enough that you want to learn today, that's fine. But I'm going to go the extra mile and show you guys some other things that I use out of this. For the past few years, as I've mentioned, I play CFM, and so we've always had the ability to set audibles. So it allows me to really be creative. For example, just a few years ago, even Zeddy had a defense out of the 4-3 wide 9 that was great at stopping the pistol runs, but it was obvious that he was calling cover 2 every down because he was calling the cover 2 invert. So I told him about this concept by using base align and then audibling so that the safeties would come down and be able to stop the run. He would be able to do everything identical, give an identical look, but actually change the defense. So you can do this out of any formation, and I'm actually going to be posting something along these lines in another video, but I'm just going to give you the outlier here. There's no actual scheme here, but it's the idea that I'm going to go over, and then we'll get into the schemes about it in the next couple videos. So let's come out in the play double safety go. And we base align. And now we audible to Tampa 2. Right? Didn't really have to make any adjustments. So why is this valuable? Well, in Madden 18, more than any other year that I can remember, except for like way back in the old days when you really would like stack everybody in the box like that, people are bringing their safeties down right to the line of scrimmage more than any other year ever. So what happens when you want to do that, right? So let's come out in a Tampa 2. For example, right? And then we base align, and then we want to like man this guy up on here, and then we want to make one other adjustment, and now we want to bring the safeties down, right? I mean, that's so much time. That's so much time, right? You got to base align, you got to do this adjustment, you got to do that adjustment. You can set audibles now. So why not set an audible? Like let's say, just for example, we wanted to get crossfire in there, okay? So we're just going to come out in the same play every time just to keep it consistent. So we'll come out in double safety go, right? We'll base align and we'll go to Tampa 2, okay? I think I had clicked on this guy. Damn it! I had clicked on him, so it prevented his movement. But here, as you can see, like in the 3-4 odd, you can accomplish this just by pressing. But then you're pressing corners. Here, we can base align and crowd the box without having to do any other movement, right? I feel a little guilty because the safety didn't move there because I was clicked on him. So I'm going to do this again. Okay? Long video, but a lot of information. So let's base align, okay? And now we're in Tampa 2. So as I said again, I mean, we can start making adjustments. As soon as we base align and audible to the cover 2, I mean, now we're like making adjustments like crazy, right? I mean, take all that time to man up guys or do whatever it is that you want to do. But then furthermore, if we want to go to cross 3 fire, we can. See how that guy moved in a little bit, but that's because I was like moving guys around. So now we have the safeties up, okay? And we're in cross 3 fire. So now we just put this guy here in a zone. We have this set up, whatever it is, if we want to use cloud flats, and it's just an extra look. You're always confusing your opponent. Now, I'd say 4 years ago, I played T. Davis, who at the time was at the top of his game. And he won't remember this because it was just something that I was doing, but he literally said, I hate playing offense against you because you always do things to make the defense look the same every time. And he wants to be able to figure out the shell. He wants to be able to get the reads on the guys. And it was literally, I remember exactly what it was that I was doing. I was calling $326. I had my audible set on defense. I was coming out in double safety go, like I've done here, and then I was making all of my changes. So, for example, I could go to man, right? And then I'd have all these guys stacked up on the box, and he would think he'd have like a zone beater, and then everything would be man. Even if you go here to this, as you can see, there was one small move, but I'm actually in man in a different formation entirely, in the big dime 2-3-6 Sam. So you really can take advantage of a lot of different audibles. So now I can go to like cover 3 drop. And you're really always one step ahead. I love all the quick adjustments. They're absolutely fantastic. But this not only saves you time if you're getting quick snap, and it avoids the possibility of someone quick snapping your crossfire cover 3 shell. I mean, I could go on, man. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with this. So now we're at 16 minutes, and I'm going to make one final thing here so you guys can see what it is that I've got scheming up and things that I've been doing for quite some time now, which is, what was it? Okay, so now, oops, you know what? I screwed up. So here's actually another tip. When you're in practice mode and you want to set audibles, you actually cannot set an audible after the other team picks a play. So here I wanted to set Okie Eagle 3 as an audible. I need to do that before I pick the offensive play. Okay, so now let's come out in cross 3 fire. Okay, so cross 3 fire baseline. Okay, we're all good. But now let's audible to a formation, or should I say a play, that within itself had pre-play motion on defense. Basically, this safety right here that I'm on would roll over to this spot, and this guy here would roll down to this spot. That's how the defense would be run. But if we take a look here, oops, after I audible, take a look at the mayhem that we've got going on this play. It looks like the cross 3 fire, but we've got all this business going on. So why is this valuable? You're thinking, this is stupid. This is nonsense. This doesn't do anything, right? Well, it does. The reason it does is because, again, we're not scheming. I'm not showing you any particular scheme, okay? But we do have, basically, like when you go to cover 3, do I have the cover 3 here? Yeah, cover 3 sky. That's the cover 3 sky. That's essentially the cover 3 sky. And the cover 3 sky sheds out of this formation are fantastic. This guy gets a lot of pressure. But now, if I go to Okie Eagle 3, it's the same, right? Except now I just need to do something with, say, the safety or whatever. There is no zone in the game that looks like this. This is a whole ball of confusion for an offensive player. I mean, this is, it doesn't mean that they're not going to drive on you or score. It doesn't mean anything like that. But if you love to scheme and confuse like a Mike Zimmer or like, what's his name, the Steelers guy there for years and years. I'm drawing a blank because I'm doing the video. But, I mean, this is what they do. And there's no zone in the game. You cannot get this zone. You can't. So now let's do it again, and I'm going to set the, well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out in the Okie Eagle 3. This is another thing that I've done in years past with these plays specifically. So come out in Okie Eagle 3. We base align and take a look at all the movement that happens here. Right? It's crazy. But now we audible to a DB sting, You know what I mean? Or something like, whatever. Who knows, right? But we audible to something, and now they don't know what the heck is going on. And again, this zone here is like no other zone in the game. You would just have to be a little bit wary of, if square is on a deep route, is this guy going to get over to help in time? If he's not on a deep route at all, maybe you're playing a gun bunch. Maybe you're playing a West Coast gun bunch where the square route is on that must user route by square. And I'm not saying that it does because I've never tested it, but maybe this blue zone right here stops it, right? Maybe because when you snap the ball, okay, and the way that he moves, tell me that doesn't look like a cover 3. I mean, that's safety playing over the middle like that. The way that he drops back, that's a cover 2, right? Tell me this isn't going to confuse someone, especially someone that looks at the safeties first. What is that? Right? I mean, that's a cover 2 shell on this side. And they're seeing a flat, and they don't have a route that is attacking this deep area of the field. They're just never putting a guy on a streak, like, say, over in that spot or something. So you never have to worry about it. So you can do something like this, right? This is just all stuff that, like, I take into account as I'm playing. I'm just like, this guy's never doing that. I can afford to do this. Like, it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. So now he's in a cover 2, but it's a single high safety, essentially. And then now this guy, as he is making his way to the right side, he is coming back and protecting deep. It's a cover 2, but they're all up on the line, and just the way that it plays, it takes time to develop. And now, as you can see right here, the safeties are in their cover 2, and the clouds are in their clouds. So that is how I love to take advantage of audibles. You will see some stuff coming up. I have some stuff out of the Nickel 245 double A gap that I was running just at the very beginning of the year. It's pretty vanilla, but it is very confusing. It allows you to take advantage of mid blitz, and your opponent's never going to know whether you're in mid blitz or not. There's just a lot of different things that I was doing out of it that I really, really like.